This is part 2 of a series discussing and explaining greenwashing, using H&M as an example. Last week we learned that H&M is being sued for, quote, misleading sustainability claims. And to be honest, none of us in the slow fashion community are surprised because we've been screaming about this for years. Greenwashing is everywhere in 2022, and it's hard to find a big brand or retailer that isn't actively working to appear to be more environmentally conscious than it truly is. Fortunately, they all use the same tricks, just like they all essentially sell the same trends, fabrics, and clothes. So when you learn to spot it from one retailer, you start to recognize it everywhere. Seriously, you can't stop seeing it. So using H&M as an example is great. And it doesn't hurt that H&M has sort of been setting the trend here, meaning other retailers are looking to them and copying what they are doing. Fast fashion. It just loves to copy, right? One huge red flag of greenwashing is the use of words that just don't mean very much because they aren't actually measurable. Yet they have power as marketing tools because they sound so good to us. They appeal to our basic instinct to do the right thing. And these are great words that have been robbed of their power by fast fashion. Here are a few examples. Green literally only means something when we are referring to the color. Eco-friendly. Don't even get me started here. This means nothing, but it sure sounds nice. Natural. Sounds appealing also, but means nothing in terms of something being good or bad. Transparency. This one seems great, right? I used to love this one. And I'm kind of angry that fast fashion has ruined transparency. But unfortunately, H&M and other retailers might claim to have transparency within their supply chain, but they actually don't have any visibility into subcontractors, fabric trim suppliers, dye houses, etc. Often their greatest visibility into their factories lies within the final steps of manufacturing, with no knowledge of everything that came before. Conscious. Oh, we know H&M loves this one. And it means little, but it works so much magic on us because it implies that we, the customer who are about to buy this conscious product, are conscious because we are making these thoughtful choices that make us superior to everyone else who is making, I guess, the unconscious choice against the environment. I don't know, it's all nonsense, but it works, right? It makes us feel good. Recycled. This is another one I see a lot when it comes to fibers and materials. Using recycled stuff is great, but if the item is also not recyclable after that, it's the end of the line, and that's not good either. Fair wage. This is a classic one. Let me tell you, a fair wage is not the same as a living wage because what you and I consider a fair wage may differ based on what we do for a living or where we live or how much money we'd like to make. A fair wage is very subjective. What if I told you that H&M and all of the other fast fashion retailers are using sustainable and sustainability incorrectly? In 1987, the United Nations defined sustainability as, quote, meeting the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. And while, yes, reducing our use of natural resources and protecting our oceans, soil, air, plants, and animals are all part of that, so is providing a healthy, safe, productive life for all humans. That means eliminating poverty, providing healthcare, education, equal rights, access to good food, and dignified employment that pays a living wage. When all of the humans are thriving, the planet benefits. Unfortunately, fast fashion brands neglect to address the human element of their business, the wages and working conditions of all of the humans making, shipping, and selling our clothing. Workers across the supply chain, from the fabric mill to the factory making the poly bags for shipping, are often being paid very little and working under terrible conditions. Retail workers don't make a living wage and often find themselves the target of harassment and abuse. And the same goes for warehouse workers. No matter what all of these fast fashion brands are telling you on their beautiful, neutral toned, with a hint of green corporate responsibility pages that you can find on their websites, none of these brands are doing anything sustainable or life-changing. Doing that would mean completely dismantling their business models and starting over, and they're not going to do that. The deals of fast fashion are made possible by two key elements of the business model, the fast fashion business model, that guarantee it can never be sustainable. Overconsumption, selling us as much stuff as possible, as often as possible, and exploitation, including low wages, wage theft, and dangerous/miserable working conditions. It's cheap because someone, lots of people, didn't get paid.